But federal health officials say Taylor Farms is the likely source of the nationwide Cyclosporiasis outbreak that has sickened people in the last 34 states, and at least 34 states. California supplier provides lettuce to Taco Bell and major retailers, including Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods. I don't have the tweet, but I saw a tweet where someone said that even though Taylor Farms is a California supplier, they actually grow their lettuce in Mexico. I don't know if that's true. That would be quite funny if true. Taylor Farms are the diarrhea dealers. That's horrendous. I'm so glad that I don't like lettuce. And even in a salad, I don't like lettuce. I like fucking baby spinach. That shit's nuts. You've already dug into Taylor Farms. 70% of their workers are migrants. The rest are H-1Bs and locals. The town is 95% Hispanic, 35% non-citizen. That's kind of crazy. That's insane, dude. How have politicians let this get so bad for so long? As like, were they all counting on, well, if we replace everybody who's an American fast enough, then they won't even notice, so they won't be able to do anything about it. Like, what the fuck?
Health investigators may have finally solved the mystery of why so many people have fallen so ill eating contaminated lettuce. The Washington Post reports that federal officials have now potentially linked the outbreak of a parasite called Cyclospora to Taylor Farms, a California produce distributor. The company supplies salad products to numerous grocery stores and fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell. Thousands of cases have been reported in 30...
Fucking Taco Bell is catching so many shots from this. Like, Taylor Farms is in so many grocery stores and so many fast food places. Like, just singling out Taco Bell almost makes me feel bad for the multi-billion-dollar corporation.
4 states, the majority in Michigan, the vast majority over the last few weeks.
The fact that the majority are in Michigan now is kind of crazy to me because, again, when we first read about this, the first article we read didn't even have Michigan on their map of outbreaks. And then the second article we read was like, oh yeah, now Michigan has the most outbreaks even though they weren't even mentioned previously and they had 0 while all the other states were slowly climbing. Like, what the fuck is going on in Michigan, dude?
The disease causes severe gastrointestinal illness. While no one has died, more than 100 people have been hospitalized. Taco Bell had already, as a precaution, removed salad ingredients from some of its restaurants. One Michigan health official told CBS News that normally it would see 40 cases of cyclosporiasis, but in this outbreak, they have handled more than 4,000 cases.
Holy shit.
Remember, for now, this is a potential link with Taylor Farms in California. We reached out to them. So far, no response. But this is the first real sign of tracking down what has worried and sickened so many consumers. Tony?
All right, Mark, we'll stay on it. Thank you.
Michigan getting tag teamed by the Canadian smoke and the Mexican poop lettuce. They just can't win right now. The glove state, it's suffering. Mayor Mamdani announces first ever NYC Parks Parents Night Out, giving parents and caregivers a free evening off. And when I read this title on Twitter, I was incredibly pissed off. Because it's like, communists have done near irreparable damage between men and women. And we also have both, like, parents need to work in current year unless one person makes astronomical amounts of money. So you're already offloading early childhood development to the state because you need somebody else to watch your children unless you live near your family and your family can help you with the child, right? The traditional cycle was man and woman have baby, man go work, woman take care of baby. When man and woman need break, family watch baby. That's just how it used to work. And now the commies are like, well, now that we've ruined everything, and people aren't even having many babies, but for those of you that are, you're working full time, you sometimes need a break. You probably hate your family and live nowhere near them. Let the state take that baby off your hands. Give us more time to indoctrinate your children. And it's just like, this is not how things should be. You should live somewhat close to your family for the most part. Like, there's obviously going to be outliers if you're like some super genius tech guy and you have to move across the country. But like, for the most part, people live somewhat close to their families, and their family was always the support network to help take care of the kid when the parents needed a break or needed a date night or wanted to go on a vacation or something. State taking over as parent and grandparent. State taking over as, like, de facto childhood care for everything. Free drop-off programs offer children an evening of supervised recreation while parents and caregivers enjoy a few hours to themselves. Families can register online from July 13th through July 20th. Today, Mayor Zoran Kwame Mamdani and Parks Commissioner Tricia Shimamura announced the launch of NYC Parks' first ever Parents' Night Out, a free one-night drop-off program that gives parents and caregivers the opportunity to enjoy an evening to themselves while children participate in supervised fun at select NYC Parks recreation centers across the 5 boroughs. I'm just having images of, like, the Jerry Barry from Rick and Morty populate in my head. It's like, why would you ever entrust the state to do this, man? Holy shit. Yeah, state-sanctioned supervised fun time, you guys. While parents recharge, run errands, enjoy a date night, or simply take time for themselves, children will spend the evening participating in supervised games, sports and fitness activities, media education programs, you say, and nature exploration with urban park rangers, all led by trained NYC Park staff. The experience is designed to showcase the wide range of engaging recreational programs that NYC Parks offers year-round. Dinner will be provided for all participants. Every parent knows that a few hours to yourself can feel like a luxury, said Mayor Mamdani. It shouldn't be. That's why we're launching New York City's first ever Parents' Night Out, so that parents can get a little time on their own to catch a movie, run errands, or go on a date without worrying about who will take care of the kids, or how much it will cost. You guys remember when you could, like, pay a babysitter $20 to watch your kids for, like, 5 hours? You remember those days? Like, my family, my grandparents were just like the family babysitters, right? Whenever anyone needed like a day off or an evening off or a weekend off, or like they had some plans to do something, they would drop their kids off at my grandparents' place. That's just normal. That's just normal. Making New York City more affordable isn't just about lowering costs, it's about giving people back their time. This is like communists create a problem and then sell you a fake solution to the problem. If it weren't for communist subversion and using feminists as good little foot soldiers, we wouldn't even be in this position of having tons of fraudulent daycare centers. We wouldn't be having the problem of not affordable daycare because daycare, when you give it to a family member, is fucking free. Separating kids from the family is how they get them to accept the state as the guardian. Socialists have always made destroying the family unit as the best way to make good little droids. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's frustrating to read because they're just like, ooh, we're offering you this solution to a problem you have. And it's like, you created the problem. You created the problem on purpose because that's what you do. And now you're coming in pretending to be a good little savior, offering more schlop that's not a real solution. Lefties love to post this stuff and their fabricated statistics. Yeah, there's going to be tons of people celebrating this, not even realizing that, like, This is a solution that doesn't need to exist if the communists didn't fucking ruin things in the first place. This administration is committed to making it easier to raise a family in the greatest city in the world. Parents and caregivers spend so much of their time taking care of everyone else, and they deserve an opportunity to recharge, said NYC Park Commissioner Tricia Shimamura. Our first ever Parents' Night Out is about making sure our administration is working for New Yorkers by providing a free, safe, and fun experience for children while giving families a few hours to themselves. Whether it's enjoying dinner or simply taking a well-earned break, we're proud to offer an affordable program that supports families and strengthens our communities. This free program reflects NYC Park's commitment to making recreation more accessible. I don't know what they mean by recreation more accessible, but whatever, man. And support working families by creating affordable opportunities that improve quality of life for New Yorkers. Children will enjoy an evening of recreation, including active games, sports, arts and crafts, and group activities in the following NYC Park recreation centers. Space is limited and registration is required on a first-come, first-served basis. Walk-ins will not be permitted. Families must register online between Monday, July 13th and Monday, July 20th, and are asked to register for only one location. Following registration, participants will receive information by email about completing a required event waiver by Friday, July 31st, and obtaining a free NYC Parks Recreation Center membership for each participating child by Sunday, August 16th. Required event waiver. I kind of wonder what's going to be in that. Recreation center memberships are always free for children, and all participants must be between the ages of 6 and 13 by August 16th, 2026. It's also very interesting to me that they're like, yeah, everybody has to be specifically signed up, no walk-ins, you have to sign waivers, and I don't know, this just seems like, I'm thinking of, what the fuck is the name of that movie?
Equilibrium.
Yeah, Equilibrium. The gun kata, that's what it's called. Where, like, much like in other commie books, right? The children turn in their parents or their family members if they do the bad thing. Equilibrium had the same thing, where, like, children would turn in people for the bad thing. And this seems like this program could be a pilot for, like, making troops of children who are specialized to pay attention for certain stimuli and then report when they view certain stimuli, as it were. Equilibrium's an underrated film. It's very campy, but it's so fucking good. This event smells like indoctrination in mind. Jessica's nothing like you. She's black. Commies are all godless ideology. They have to destroy the family unit and God, so you rely on the government and worship the state. Just how socialism, communism always is a very atheistic ideology. It seems weird, right? That, like, some people who turn to be, like, atheistic or agnostic eventually fall into this, like, weird, yeah, socialism, communism makes the most sense, and then they treat that like their new religion. How does that happen? I have more New York news. Maybe they shouldn't have been in that business in the first place. That's how the co-chair of the New York Socialist Party responded to concerns that a state-run grocery store could force a locally owned business to close. So much for the warmth of collectivism. I will never understand how there are people that don't understand that socialists and communists are not actually for the working class. They despise the working class. They want to destroy the working class. All of them are people who wish to be part of elite rulers. They're power grabbers. They're disgusting little cretin bottom feeders who want to feel powerful over people for once in their lives. This is not surprising at all to anyone who understands communism.
Inspiration is great, but if you're the bodega owner, how would you feel if the government opened a big grocery store right next to your bodega?
If one publicly owned grocery store that brings prices down in the neighborhood is enough to put someone out of business.
Dude, he sounds like a gay Disney villain. He looks like a gay Disney villain. Where did they fucking find this guy? I could not think of a more perfect spokesperson for any kind of socialist or communist policy than someone that looks like a gay villain in a movie.
Then maybe they shouldn't have been in that business in the first place.
Interesting.
Oh, even the news actor broke the script for a second.
In the first place.
Interesting.
Even she couldn't straight face it. Holy shit. Isn't this the tard that also said the Senate needs to be removed because it gives smaller states representation? If so, I haven't seen that clip. Holy shit.
We just don't see the point of the Senate. Historically, it was meant to serve very wealthy people who owned a lot of land. And that's still a system that we have today. And it's something we would change. We would expand what the House of Representatives does and make it more actually representative of people who live in this country.
So would you like to abolish the Senate?
That's part of our platform, and we don't think that's extreme. We think it's a change that would help make this country more democratic.
Marco Rubio said it well. Communism is the politics of resentment and envy from losers who can't build or create anything, and who want to tear down anyone who dares to make the world a better place. It's absolutely fucking insane. Like, I don't understand how people get swept up in this kind of ideology. Anthony, thank you. So all you have to do, all this, including, I'm sure, showing ID to get a day of childcare, but to vote anything is racist. True. The fucking Olive Garden never-ending pasta pass is unironically more secure than our elections. You need to show ID, and someone who doesn't have the ID that matches the name on the pasta pass can't come in without the ID holder. Like, holy fuck, bro. Non-transferable. How is Olive Garden more secure than elections in America? How did this happen? Why are we here?
Just to suffer.
CBS News had said, Trump administration is allowing immigration officers to consider whether some applicants have used taxpayer-funded benefits, including Medicaid, food stamps, and housing assistance, when determining whether they qualify for permanent legal status. You know that thing that all of us have been saying has been happening for decades, and the left is just like, nuh-uh, you're just a bigot racist. That's not happening. There's no immigrants on welfare or Section 8 or getting free healthcare. That's not real. Fucking chud. Well, it's real. And not only is it real, Mamdani's saying, to every New Yorker, this rule is not yet in effect. The earliest it could take effect is September 18th, 2026. New York City will use every tool at our disposal to fight this attack on immigrant families and the communities that make our city the greatest on earth. For any questions, call NYC Immigrants Legal Support Hotline. And then he repeats that in Spanish because he's fucking retarded. Of course he would, yeah. Another episode of why was this allowed to begin with? Why do you think that's why we are here where we are? You know, it's like whenever I'm about to say why, I always have to check myself because it's like, I know why, but I'm so exasperated that that's the fucking word that comes out of my mouth, you know? Yeah, no, Mamdani should be charged with treason. He should. He should, but I mean, I doubt we could even deport him because our politicians are pretty ineffective at the current time. If you are an immigrant, right, as an American, if I emigrate, I guess, to any other country, if I emigrate to any other country, I have to prove that I can support myself. If I tried to go to any other country and there was even a whiff of I might need any kind of public services, they would reject me outright and send me back home. The fact that not only have immigrants been able to take advantage of our taxpayer systems for decades, but now we have politicians wanting to protect immigrants taking advantage of our taxpayer systems is incredibly foul. If you come here to the United States, you should be supporting yourself. Especially if you're here legally, because in theory, you want to become an American, right? So you don't want to become a welfare leech. So not even counting illegal immigrants, legal immigrants should not be on any kind of government assistance. That is just normal. That is just the way every functioning country, and even some non-functioning countries, operate. So the fact that anyone is demonized for pointing out these things in a Western country like the US is insanity. That is just normalcy. Anyone arguing for otherwise is like Mamdani here, wanting to reshape and change the US drastically and irrevocably. It's just like, Mamdani does everything horrendously. And I really don't want to see the communist experiment continue to gain ground in more states. A little clip. A Mamdani housing event features a lady in a mask ranting about her landlord, declaring that eviction is violence.
Our city is turning the corner on tenant power. When we organize, we win results. The Mamdani administration is emboldening us so that we no longer tolerate the violence of evictions as a matter of business as usual. My landlord owns dozens of buildings, but he is not a steward of the public trust. In fact, it is the opposite.
I think it's funny that she says that evictions are violence and must be stopped. Having lived where I did in Georgia, there were many evictions carried out, to the point where sometimes police officers would have to break down the door to evict the families. There was one family, the very first family who got evicted when I moved down there. They were the ones who had, like, their children running naked all over, like, the stairwells and shit, and they would throw, like, their dirty diapers from their windows into the bushes down below, and they would just leave trash fucking everywhere. Like, they were a disgusting, rancid family. And that entire apartment had to get bug bombed to oblivion because it had such a bad cockroach infestation by the time they left. The complex tried shutting off their electricity, shutting off their water. Could not get them evicted. Like, they just stayed there anyways. And so the cops had to come, break the lock on the door, and, like, come and arrest the people and drag them out. So it's like, whenever I hear one of these, like, retarded white people saying that evictions are violence, I'm like, no, the people staying there, destroying the place, causing horrible situations for everyone around them, that's the violence, man. Evictions are violence and silence is violence, but actual violence, well, that's justice to them. True. Everything that is needed to have a functioning, decent, high-trust society is violence to them. And their violence is just heckin' healthcare, buddy. That's just heckin' healthcare. Congressman Addison McDowell here He said, Mamdani doesn't speak for America, President Trump does. Today I led a letter calling on the DOJ to investigate whether Mamdani's administration violated the Logan Act by engaging in unauthorized communications with the Islamic Republic of Iran. And the letter says, the Honorable Todd Blanche, Dear Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, we write with concern about the recent actions of Mayor Zoran Mamdani's administration. Last week, media outlets began to report Commissioner Ana Maria Archia, the head of the New York City Mayor's Office for International Affairs, had scheduled a July 7th meeting with the Islamic Republic of Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, Amir Syed Iravani. As you know, negotiations with Iran are in a critical stage. Given its timing, we believe this proposed meeting may have presented significant national security risks. In light of this, we respectfully ask that the Department of Justice investigate potential violations of the Logan Act on part of the mayor's office. The Logan Act prohibits any unauthorized American citizen from negotiating with foreign governments on behalf of the United States. Mayor Mamdani's and Commissioner Archia's actions create a clear conflict of interest with the United States' strategic military actions in Iran and across the Middle East, warranting further examination by the department. We support President Trump's efforts to shore up American economic and national security interests in the Middle East, and we understand the vulnerable nature of continued peace negotiations. For that reason, we believe a formal investigation is necessary to determine whether Commissioner Archia, acting on behalf of Mayor Mamdani, engaged in any unlawful or communication with the Islamic Republic of Iran. We look forward to working with you and to continue preserving the safety and security of the United States. And this seems to have been signed by Addison McDowell, Clay Fuller, Pat Fallon, Earl Carter, Randy Fine, Riley Moore, Wesley Hunt, Lauren Boebert, Pete Sessions, Pat Harrigan, Rich McCormick, Claudia Tenney, Anna Paulina Luna, and Max Miller. Why does a mayor need international communications? We all asked the same thing when Karen Bass was over in Ghana during the fires in LA. Poland bans trash streams with prison sentences for streamers who profit from violence and humiliation. I'm kind of torn on this, because on one side, I am fucking sick of streamers like this. Holy shit. Holy fuck, I'm sick of them. They're terrible. But then, I don't want the government, like, meddling in what people can and can't do. It should be like people just hating these streamers that convince more people to not do this, I guess. Poland has criminalized so-called trash streaming, with creators now facing up to 5 years in prison for broadcasting violence, abuse, and the humiliation of others for money or online popularity. Polish President Karol Nawrocki signed the legislation into law on July 17th, introducing penalties of up to 5 years behind bars for the most serious offenses. And see, this makes me think that, like, people like, we watch these guys who were basically using this, like, mentally ill Frenchman as, like, a prop to terrorize on their streams. I can't remember his name, but we watched that whole saga. And I think this absolutely would have been something to use in that case. I don't think that happened in Poland, so it wouldn't apply, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So, like, violence, abuse, and the humiliation of others, I think, is somewhat strongly worded, but it could get abused, which is why I don't like the government coming in and doing things about this. Yes, I would like to see these kinds of streamers and YouTubers just completely gotten rid of, like the Johnny Somalis of the world, as it were. But I don't like the government coming in and doing something about it. The law makes it a crime to publicly distribute online content for financial or personal gain that depicts serious crimes, animal abuse, or the degrading treatment of another person. It can apply even when the person shown in the broadcast consented to the treatment. Okay, that's even crazier. Wait, would this not just be added as an endorsement on an existing charge? Because abuse, violence, harassment is already illegal. Like somebody already said, a lot of these streamers that broadcast these things end up not having any repercussions for it. So something like this could ensure that streamers who participate in these things do end up having some kind of charges brought against them. But again, I don't like the government meddling in it because the language, I think, could end up being used for things that it shouldn't be used for. And in addition to that, when we got to the point where they say that it doesn't even matter if the person they're humiliating or doing whatever to has consented to it, the fact that they can circumvent consent is a little bit weird to me. Offenders face sentences of up to 3 years, while streams showing or staging more serious crimes can result in up to 5 years in prison. The content is known in Poland as pato streaming, a combination of pathological and streaming. These broadcasts typically feature creators performing dangerous, violent, or humiliating acts to generate views, donations, and advertising revenue. Polish police previously described viewers paying streamers to assault or intoxicate people, start fights, or subject others to degrading treatment on camera. The law also covers creators who stage or falsely portray criminal acts, preventing streamers from avoiding punishment by claiming the violence was fake or scripted. Konrad Cielkiewicz, I cannot pronounce Polish names, holy shit, deputy head of Poland's State Commission for Counteracting Child Sexual Abuse, said the legislation marked the end of accepting the building of popularity by humiliating others. The measure received broad support from Prime Minister Donald Tusk's governing coalition and the opposition Law and Justice Party. Meanwhile, right-wing lawmakers opposed it, warning that the restrictions could lead to censorship. Hey, that was my concern! The crackdown comes amid growing scrutiny of creators who profit from dangerous and degrading live streams. Spanish police launched an investigation after streamer Sergio Jimenez died during a paid challenge involving large quantities of alcohol and cocaine. Where was he streaming that? Investigators were examining whether viewers or organizers could face responsibility for allegedly encouraging the behavior. You see, something like this is just like a Darwin Award, right? This is just a current year Darwin Award. If you're going to do a paid challenge involving large quantities of alcohol and cocaine, if you die, you die. That's your fault.
He dies.
It's when you bring in other people and you have other people do these things, and especially if you didn't get them to consent in the first place, that's where it becomes kind of murky and kind of illegal. In France, prosecutors have also requested prison sentences and social media bans for Owen, Naruto, Sinanzandadi, and Safin Hamadi over violent and humiliating streams featuring Jean Pormanov before his death. That's the guy that I was mentioning! I just didn't remember his name. They banned Naruto. Yeah, those are the guys that, like, fucking were violent and humiliating towards the, mentally ill Frenchman guy. So, like, overall, I think the government getting involved in these things is bad. I think if streamers accidentally kill themselves in the reach of content, nothing of value was lost. Like, that might be harsh, but it's like, if you're going to ply yourself with cocaine and alcohol, if you're going to set your house on fire, if you're going to try and, like, do insanely violent things and you happen to die, like, that's nobody's fault but your own, you know? Police in Spain are investigating the death of a streamer who allegedly died live on camera after taking part in an extreme challenge online involving alcohol and drugs. Sergio Jimenez, 37, is believed to have overdosed after reportedly agreeing to drink an entire bottle of whiskey and snort 6 grams of cocaine within 3 hours as part of a paid live stream challenge. The streamer was found dead by his younger brother at the family home he shared with their mother in Vilanova i la Geltrú, near Barcelona. He was discovered kneeling beside his bed in what relatives described as a prayer-like position, while his webcam continued streaming to viewers. What fucking platform was he able to stream his corpse on? That's actually insane. What the fuck? When VTubers and other streamers used to do, like, shots for subs and whatnot, Twitch put an end to that real fucking quick. Because they were like, we don't want people earning Darwin Awards and then becoming, like, you know, accountable for it. And it's like, I feel like again, that's a bit overarching, right? If somebody wants to do shots for subs and they happen to die of alcohol poisoning, that's their fault. That's not Twitch's fault. But maybe I'm a little bit more on the people have free will, and if that free will leads them to their own death, well, they died doing what they loved, did they not? You're not gonna have a bystander effect in an online chat, buddy. They're sadists. That's why cockroaches want the streamer to be well off. What? Oh, I read 2 things. It's why Cockroach Girl existed at all as a phenomenon. That kind of audience doesn't want the streamer to be well off. Yes, absolutely. It's like, when I read that story about the, like, castration cult, I can't remember if it was in England or Scotland, but somewhere on the British Islands, there was, like, a cult of castration where they would, like, convince guys to join, and then they would cut their cock off. and they would live stream these castrations to an audience of people who enjoyed watching it. The what cult? Yeah, we covered that a few years ago. I want to say that was like 2023, maybe? So you're not a free speech absolutist. You believe there are reasonable speech restrictions, but people are unreasonable, unfortunately, especially governments. Yeah? I think I used to be more of like when I was younger, I think I would say free speech absolutist, because in my mind that meant like hate speech is still protected speech under free speech. But to be an absolutist, you would have to like allow things that are very bad and dangerous, right? Like even in the US, we put some restrictions on what free speech is. Like if you're like the crowded theater example, I think is the #1 go-to people use. Like, if you start yelling about a fire in a crowded theater, you're gonna get arrested. You don't regard yourself as a free speech absolutist. You're an anti-censorship extremist. I think that's much better wording. According to family members, voices could still be heard from Sergio's computer as they tried to help him. Some viewers, reportedly part of a private group who had paid to watch the stream, were heard asking whether he was sleeping off a hangover and urging him to finish the whiskey. Sergio's mother, Teresa, told Catalan outlet El Periodico that the family had been warned months earlier about his online activity. She said her eldest son, Jordi, had raised concerns that Sergio was spiraling and producing increasingly dangerous and extreme content. I got up to go to the bathroom just before 2 a.m. and saw the door to his room was ajar, Teresa said. I asked him what he was doing, but he didn't answer. I could see him kneeling on the bed as if he was praying. Another brother, Daniel, rushed to the room after the alarm was raised and confirmed Sergio had already died before emergency services were called. He told local media there was an almost empty bottle of whiskey, energy drink cans, never mix energy drinks, and lots of alcohol chat, and drugs on a red plate near the computer, which was still playing audio from viewers. Spanish reports claim Sergio was streaming to a private audience with viewers donating money and demanding increasingly extreme acts in exchange for cash. A spokesperson for the regional police force, Mossos de Esquadra, confirmed an active investigation. We're investigating the death of a 37-year-old man found lifeless at a property in Villanova y la Geltrú in the early hours of December 31st, the spokesperson said. We're awaiting full autopsy results and examining the circumstances to determine whether a crime has occurred. The case follows renewed scrutiny of extreme live stream content after the death of French streamer Raphael Graven, known online as Jean Pormanov. We already know how he died, and that was very sad, and I hated watching it. Man died during a live stream where he was paid by viewers to scull a bottle of whiskey and snort 6 grams of cocaine. Ooh, skull, brother. Was found dead. Jimenez's mother discovered him in a kneeling position beside his bed. His family walked into the devastating scene to try and get help for Mr. Jimenez. They could hear some of the viewers talking. Jordi, my eldest son who lives in the Pyrenees, warned us a couple of months ago Sergio was making these kinds of videos. She said on the night that he died, she tried to go in his bedroom, but something was blocking the door. I kept asking him from outside, but he didn't answer. I could see him kneeling on the bed as if he was praying. Oh, so it must have been like maybe the door was like slightly ajar so she could see in the room, but she couldn't push it open farther. Maybe that could be what was going on, and then she had to wait for like his dad or whatever to get home to get in there. Florida man arrested for $220,000 video game malware scam after FBI tracks his Uber Eats delivery. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they could find a streamer if they wanted to, you know? A 21-year-old Florida man allegedly hid crypto-stealing malware inside Steam games and robbed thousands of players, and got caught over his Uber Eats orders. Federal agents arrested Zaire Wilkins of North Lauderdale on Tuesday and accused him of helping run a scheme that put infected games online and quietly emptied players' crypto wallets. The FBI says the games looked completely normal, which is exactly why so many people downloaded them. As reported by Local 10, Wilkins and others launched 8 infected games between May 2024 and February 2026, and reached around 8,000 devices and stealing at least $220,000 in crypto. I feel like that's not a great return on your, like, malware investment. $220,000 in 2 years? $220,000 off of 8,000 devices? That's not a lot, man. That's not a lot. Rare Uber Eats W. They pushed the games on Discord, Telegram, X, and LinkedIn, and used bots to find people holding a lot of crypto and nudge them into downloading. That makes more sense. I was thinking that, like, somehow he got these, like, platformed on Steam or some shit. Because I know Steam had an issue with, like, somebody putting up infected games for a hot minute. But yeah, no, this is just okay. So only the retarded people clicked on the links. Got it. Never download anything promoted on LinkedIn. Bro, I am so terrified of malicious links that I just don't like clicking on anything anymore. Once a game was installed, it grabbed the player's private data and passwords, which the group then used to break into wallets. What tripped him up was Uber Eats. Agents followed the stolen crypto to a service that sells gift cards and found more than 150 of them bought mostly for food delivery, and asked Uber Eats where the orders went. The deliveries led straight to Wilkins's home and his college address. This looks like the first arrest from an FBI investigation that went public in March when the Bureau asked affected players to come forward. It follows the September case where malware, oh, this is what I was thinking of. Malware in a Steam game drained a streamer raising money for his cancer treatment. Part of a wider run of Steam scares recently saw hackers hide malware in wallpaper engine downloads. As for Wilkins, he will be facing up to 10 years in prison. That's kind of nuts. 10 years. Man, 10 years for 220K over a couple of years. What about all of the politicians committing mass amounts of fraud with the Somalians? What about those? What about those? I haven't seen those kind of sentences yet. I spent it all on Uber Eats. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Imagine spending it all on Uber Eats. And speaking of Florida man spending all of his stolen money on Uber Eats, KFC is adding whole watermelons to their menu alongside a special chicken combo in China. KFC has started selling whole watermelons in China as part of a summer promotion, pairing the fruit with an entire roasted chicken. The unusual combo, is it really, Dexerto? Is it an unusual combo? Launched on July 15th and includes KFC China's fragrant baked paper-wrapped chicken, alongside a whole miniature watermelon. Mini watermelon, that's so cute. Customers can order the meal through the KFC app for 34.9 won, around 5.15 USD, with the watermelon included at no additional charge. Free watermelon? Free watermelon with your chicken dinner for only $5. That's crazy. That's a deal. The deal is available for dine-in customers at participating restaurants, with KFC noting that some locations may not take part. Come to KFC to eat watermelon as the hottest part of summer begins, the chain announced in a translated Weibo post. KFC described the promotion as giving customers the chance to enjoy both chicken and melon, with promotional images showing the roasted bird served in foil next to an entire watermelon. Customers who are more interested in the fruit than the chicken can also purchase one of KFC's small watermelons separately. The standalone watermelon costs 16.9 won, around 2.50 USD. Hold on a minute. Okay, it was 34.9. And is currently exclusive to dine-in customers at participating KFC restaurants in Shanghai. I'm glad that it says it's exclusive to dine-in, because my immediate thought was, think of how many, like, Americans, if we had access to this, would just be ordering a single mini watermelon on fucking DoorDash, dude. Holy shit. KFC claims the watermelons are freshly harvested and small enough for one person to enjoy. The company's promotional material describes them as particularly juicy, sweet, and easy to carry. They're just like shorts. Take the first bite and enjoy first, KFC said. Fresh and reassuring, lightweight, and good looking. Thank you, China. The promotion was launched at the beginning of Sanfu, traditionally considered the hottest stretch of summer in China. KFC marketed the watermelon as a refreshing seasonal companion to its juicy paper-wrapped chicken. According to the China Insider last year, the chain gave away yellow flesh watermelons, though this year they opted for the more traditional ones. This isn't the first time KFC China has impressed customers for standing out. In 2024, KFC driverless food trucks hit the streets. I want driverless food trucks! Why can't we have nice things? Chat, don't answer that. And people started freaking out about how futuristic they were. That same year, KFC introduced the limited-time Durian Double Down Burger, prompting treks to the country to try it out. I remember this. I would never want to eat a fucking Double Down Burger with a durian in it. Ain't no fucking way, buddy. Asmongold explains why he never shows leftists any sympathy and says they should be treated as threats. Every single one of them, you got to treat them like what they are. These people do not have empathy, they just simply want you to have empathy for them so they can take advantage of you. If ICE kills somebody, I say they should have killed more. That's crazy. Let's hear him say it.
And I've said this before, these people do not have empathy, and they just simply want you to have empathy for them so they can take advantage of you.
True!
That's the reason why. So this is why, like, for example, I never give these people even an inch. Like, if ICE kills somebody, I say they should have killed more. If some person ends up getting killed, I say that's just
crazy.
too bad. I never give these people even the slightest amount of sympathy or any degree of
based. Unfortunately, I am inflicted with woman, so I have to majorly suppress the empathy I feel, and it still leaks out. I still don't like seeing pointless death, man.
Consideration at all. And it's because these people are total vicious animals. And they are only acting the way that they are because they want you to believe that they're not. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why.
That's what I've been saying for ages.
And so they'll use everything against us. Yes, never give these people even the slightest amount of empathy or anything at all. Like, never take their side, never view them as anything other than just literally subversive animals.
And I think that's really funny. I think that's really funny, because hold on a second. And I even did the, like, in before, just don't be a hateful person. In before, just don't be a bigot. In before, yeah, Nazis shouldn't have funding, actually. Just predicting all of the normal, like, leftist V-tweeter freak rhetoric when they come across a tweet like this. And, there was some funny retard that responded with literally what I was in beforing, literally zero self-awareness. He says, then just don't be a piece of shit. That's literally the key. That whole, if you don't have anything nice to say, keep it to yourself is literally a key business principle. Because to make money, you need it from everyone. You want to expand your brand, not limit it. And I was like, yeah. Don't be a piece of shit. Just start cheering for assassinations instead. True. True and real. The smug Reddit lib shit aura. And don't be a piece of shit. The biggest piece of shit always. True. They were like, please show me any example of someone sponsored or represented by a business or company that openly cheered for someone getting shot that wasn't punished. Last I checked, people who laughed at the big Charlie Kirk got fired and or arrested. And I was just like, someone post the Tricky Wee screenshots. I don't even have them. Someone posted them. And then apparently he started fighting with them because they were like, she deleted it. Wow, it's almost like they realized that would be something very bad to post and isn't something they should have publicly shared. Except when someone said, hey, maybe don't do that. Oh, that's Night of Nights too. That's fucking crazy. Night of Nights immortalized. He's like, not the time or place, Tricky. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. The unfollow button is right there. I can guarantee you sponsors made her take down that post. That wasn't her taking that down. I can guarantee that. As a leftist would say, they only deleted it because they got pushback, right? Right? And then, hold on, there's another one. There's another one that I responded to here. I think it was this guy. Yeah, this guy said, go fuck yourself to the crazy leftist. I already know that to you, being a piece of shit is being right-wing in even the slightest degree. We're not doing that anymore. And they said, no, being right-wing is not an issue. Being pro-discrimination as the core facet of your right-wing beliefs is the issue. You can be anti-illegal immigration and still want reforms to the immigration system to encourage legal migration, for example. And it's very funny. It's very funny that he says this when no, in fact, you can't be anti-illegal immigration because the leftists have been conflating illegal and legal for a million years at this point. They're conflated, and so anyone against illegal immigration was already marked as a Nazi like a decade ago. Welcome. Welcome. We do know your tactics at this point, little retard. And he quote retweeted my post. He quote retweeted my post saying, Business 101 practice is to not collaborate with people who happen to say controversial things like trans people are bad or white people are being replaced by brown people. It's considered tasteless. No one wants to work with you because you're a piece of shit, not because of le woke. So he just gave away himself that yes, being right-wing is an issue, and he also has no idea what people on the right believe when he says things like trans people are bad. He has absolutely no idea. He doesn't know what we believe, and he wants to chastise us anyways and try to take a moral high ground. And he does it in my other comment, he does it here. He is just literally fucking insane, and he doesn't even realize how he's insane, because he responds to me and says every time, and there's no correlation between the two posts. The other too stupid. It's also tiresome, man. It's like you can take the candy from the baby, but why would you? It's too easy. It's not satisfactory. He did the thing. It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending to not understand things, thus making discourse impossible. True. True and fucking real. Savvy said, this is all the commies did for years. Demonize and dehumanize the right for no reason. They have created the environment we have today. Many of the people with Asmon's view are still technically leftist, yet Asmon here speaks strongly, and it's the same thing I've been saying too now. We all tried to play nice, no more. And the less nice you play, the more they're going to try and guilt trip you into, oh, you're not following your principles. I thought you were against this. You always spoke against this. Why are you doing it now? It's because of you. It's because of you, little commie sweat shit. You are the one who brought this about. All of us wanted to be left alone. We just wanted to grill. And you woke us up to the fact that you won't leave us the fuck alone if we don't defend our right to do it. The commie left is called everyone Nazi, reaching for something so horrific over nothing. There is no right-wing version of it that the right called the left. So don't treat them like humans, because they will never treat you as that. And this is very true, especially because the leftists, they try to do the same thing with like, oh, don't you call everyone a communist? And it's like, no. No, not everyone is a communist. All socialists are communists. You can't use word obfuscation because we know that's what you're good at. But if you're identifying as a socialist or a communist, that is a problem. The people you are calling Nazis never identified as such and never held the beliefs of such. Don't treat them as human, because they will never treat you as that. Laugh and mock them and watch them flounder. And she posts a screenshot of a suggested community note on the Asmongold clip we just watched, saying this promotes dehumanization by portraying an entire political group as animals and arguing they deserve no empathy.
Ironic.
Once again, this is what's been done to the right, and especially to white people, for many years. The fact that it is a mainstream opinion that's okay to say and is not in any way, shape, or form actionable by any sort of platform TOS, to say that white people can't experience racism, that you can attack white people and it can't be racist, that's insanity. If you said that about any other race, every platform would immediately, like, either suspend your account or demand you take down the post. So this community note is just more fucking bullshit from people who want to lord power over you. Blanket demonization of people based on political beliefs increases hostility and can normalize support for violence rather than reasoned debate. Wow, it's almost like that's how Charlie Kirk got fucking killed. Absolute idiots. I hate these people. All they do is fucking lie to you and hope that you fall for their fucking lies so that they can kill you later.
We've begun the process of identifying the firms, the contractors that are engaged in this criminal activity, and you're going to begin to see a very severe crackdown. The early reports I've gotten on that are very promising. And then we also have begun in earnest implementing our banking integrity measures. So you may remember President Trump signed an executive order a few weeks ago saying that we are not going to allow illegal aliens to use banking services in this country. You know, contrary to popular perception, you know, the stupid phrase about illegal aliens living in the shadows. Illegal aliens don't live in the shadows. Illegal aliens have credit cards, they have bank accounts, and they're paid with direct deposit. So illegal aliens fully participate in the commercial systems, the financial systems of America. Shutting that down is a massive engine for deportation. And so the Treasury Department just issued new guidance to financial institutions, to banks. And so the next step in this process is us meeting individually with banks and financial institutions on cooperating with us to remove illegal aliens from the banking system. Once illegal aliens lose their access to capital, that is going to, again, be a major driver of self-deportation.
That's a great thing that I can hear, man. It's insane that any kind of illegal alien was able to get a bank account. Like, how... I haven't opened a new bank account in like a million years. I opened one when I was a teenager, but I needed like some pretty like identifying documentation to be able to open one. Remember, illegals file a W-5, so employers withhold zero taxes, which makes the person they stole the SSN from liable for all those unpaid taxes. And we've read a handful of articles about the lives of Americans and how disruptive it gets when an illegal steals your social security number, and how fucking difficult it is to get any kind of, like, fucking justice for it, or even any kind of reprieve from how they're fucking up your life. And this Kari Lake person here said, in Arizona, when my daughter turned 13, we went to the bank to open a savings account for her, only to find out her social security number was already attached to a bank account. One opened fraudulently by an illegal alien who stole her social security number. Thank you, POTUS, Secretary Scott Bessent, and Stephen Miller for working to stop this. Like, I had like 32 people steal his, and he owed like $1 million in a year. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Thank you. Next step, hold corporate owners criminally responsible for entities they control employing illegals, felonies. Absolutely. I was so fucking happy to see some of the employers of illegals being arrested at that one raid. I think it was, in Connecticut or some shit? That needs to happen way more often. There need to be massive fines and massive jail penalties for any companies in America hiring illegal labor. B. Jammin, thank you. As the chat's local fruit farmer, you're iffy about debanking people. It's an evil tactic. That being said, you support using this on illegal aliens? Absolutely, absolutely support it being used on illegal aliens because they should not have been able to get bank accounts in the first place. They're not American citizens. They don't have actual social security numbers. They have no ties to this country. They should not be getting bank accounts. Look at this little guy. Look at how cute he is with his fucked up spine disability. Look at this little fella. I love Jimothy. And now we're gonna hear the sad truth about Jimothy, Seattle's uber viral mutant raccoon. What is the sad truth? Hey, that's that guy that got flung into the air! That's fucking iconic, dude! That's insane! I'm glad the guy was okay, but holy fuck, that is a once-in-a-lifetime fucking capture right there. There's no masking the sad truth about Seattle superstar Raccoon, the deformed critter who went ultra-viral for his bizarre backbone. And lovable misfit Energy is doomed to live a short life because his spine condition makes it harder to evade predators and hunt. Couldn't we help him? Like, couldn't someone just adopt Jimothy since he's got a fucked up condition that would make him die in the wild? He looks like the honeycomb cereal guy. The freaky furball, dubbed Jimothy by locals, suffers from short spine syndrome, a rare congenital condition that affects almost 0% of animals, veterinarians said. If he doesn't have the flexibility and agility to move from predators, this could turn out to be a sad story, said Brian Collins of the Cornell College of Veterinary Medicine. I'd be concerned his biggest predator would be dogs or cats. Jimothy's malformation could make it hard to climb trees, which raccoons use for shelter and breeding and to forage for food. Animals with short spine syndrome also often have joint problems and compressed organs, which can make them prone to vomiting and constipation. Unlike domesticated dogs with the condition, there's nobody to care for Jimothy, making the trash bandit more likely to kick the bucket. Like, I know in some states you can't legally have a raccoon as a pet, but is anyone really going to care if you yoink the one most likely to die and decide you want to care for it yourself? Like, honestly? Most likely, since he's not normal and he doesn't have direct care like a dog, we would have to assume his life would be shorter. He's so cute! He's like a ball of Kirsche. But we'll certainly cheer him on and hope for the best. Collins warns against trying to capture or feed the animal, and said urban access to food along with Seattle's moderate climate could offer some survival hope. Jimothy, who looks like a cross between an alien baboon and a cat, went viral this week as thrilled residents shared footage of him scampering through backyards and onto balconies. Fans went wild for the magnificent mutant, calling him the most Seattle animal possible, and gushing it's a hot Jimothy summer. Okay, maybe let's not go that far. Let's not go that far, buddy. I don't understand this image. Oh, okay, this is a second floor balcony, and this is a fence. I thought it was like a balcony next to another balcony with like a pencil thin fucking, like, drop between them, and I was very confused for a second. Washington doesn't give a shit about actually helping the environment, so even though owning raccoons here requires permitting, nobody's gonna care. Jimothy reminds you of Ricky. What if Ricky adopted Jimothy? Oh, look at him. He's so goofy. Jen Jacko, thank you. It's like Fillion and Snuffy had a baby. Dr. Marcy Logsdon, associate professor at Washington State University's Veterinary Teaching Hospital, had a more optimistic outlook on the raccoon's lifespan. The question is the animal able to find food, and are they able to move, she said. Jimothy seems able to do both of these things reasonably well. His best shot and life is going to be out in a wild, she said, adding he's likely young. Time will tell. Someone should just save the Jimothy. Lady Takanashi, thank you. Domesticate Jimothy the raccoon to make him a mascot? We should. Someone in the Seattle area's gotta do it. Tau 3000, thank you. Give Jimothy some of your extra spine. I don't know if I can do that, but, you know, maybe. Jimothy's a fucking monkey. And speaking of fucking monkeys, very exciting new species of monkey with big orange lips discovered hiding in a forest. Look at the monkey! Researchers have discovered a new species of orange-lipped monkey in the Congo that utters unique roars and snorts. The wildlife knows as banambas. Researchers were taken aback when they discovered a new species of black-furred monkey in the Congo that sports distinctive orange lips and utters unique vocalizations. The findings were detailed in a study in the journal PLOS ONE. It's not very common these days to find a new, never-before-documented primate species, let alone a relatively large species of monkey. Joshua Linder, an anthropologist and president of the Forest Collective, a nonprofit dedicated to rainforest conservation, Live Science reported. Named Likweli by the local Balanga people, the tangerine-lipped simian was first spotted in 2008 by conservationists exploring the deep jungles of Lomami National Park in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Unfortunately, the photo was partially obscured, preventing them from identifying it. It was not until 10 years later that the mysterious monkey was caught on camera again, whereupon researchers realized they were potentially dealing with an entirely new species. While the primate belongs to the genus Colobus, the orange mask around the lips and the way the monkey's hair is spiky are different from those of its brethren, according to Mboko, a PhD student at Florida Atlantic University. To determine whether Likweli was a new species, he and his team embarked on a pilgrimage to find the elusive primate. From 2018 to 2022, the scientists observed the monkeys in their natural habitat, recording their behavior in calls and even showing pictures to members of 52 villages around the park. Alas, only 8 villagers were familiar with the animal, namely because they hunted it for food. Well, that's kind of rude. Nonetheless, the researchers gleaned important insights into the rare critter, observing that it weighed about 15 pounds and roved the trees in groups of up to 20. Most unique were their physical traits, including their glossy black fur, white patch around the rump, and aforementioned striking orange patch encircling the mouth and nose, as if they had dipped their face into a bowl of Cheetos. This one has kind of weird ears, don't it? It looks like it has like little fucking slugs coming off of its head. That's weird. Phoenix DS, thank you. Pray Jimothy doesn't get the Peanut the Squirrel treatment if someone does take him in. Never forget what the left did to Peanut. True. True, if someone saves him, better protect him from the left. Jen Jacko, thank you. Who gave the monkey Cheetos? They evolved to love the Cheeto flavor. Study co-author Kate Detweiler of Florida Atlantic University speculated that these unique facial markings were a form of identification or even used to attract a mate. Unlike other colobus monkeys, their calls comprised of deep, loud roars and snorts. During the course of their excursion, the scientists acquired dead specimens that had been confiscated from hunters who were selling them to the illegal bushmeat industry. By extracting samples and sequencing the carcasses' DNA, and then cross-referencing them with samples from the museum collections, the team was able to confirm that the monkey was a distinct species. The creature, which they named C. congonensis, after the Congo Basin itself, marked just the 5th African monkey species to be discovered in the last 75 years. Coincidentally, their closest relatives were the black colobus, from which the primate diverged some 5 million years ago, the longest known split between members of the genus. The discovery is reshaping our understanding of African monkey evolution, said Detweiler. The scientists recommended that C. congonensis be classified as endangered because it's rare and resides in a small geographical range of around 650 miles. Ecologists fear the monkey is under threat from hunting and deforestation in the buffer zone around the national park. It's very exciting, but also very sobering to be finding a new species of primate when tropical forests are under so much stress right now, says Thomas Gillespie, an ecologist at Emory University who was not involved with the study. I wonder how many unique species have existed in Africa and have been like hunted to extinction without even ever being found in modern times. New primates, that means a new version of herpes for virologists to study. True! Every time a new monkey is discovered, someone must fuck it and see what comes out of that disease-wise. They like to eat that monkey. Why is monkey so tasty? Why? Why is monkey?